Top 5 most unusual schools. One, Terraset, an underground school. Even though it's hard to believe, the Terraset Elementary School is actually located under the surface of land. It is part of the Reston neighborhood, a planned green community in Northern Virginia. The unusual project was finished at the end of the 1970s, so the school is over 40 years old now. When the USA was living through a hard energy crisis, the town administration found the solution in building a school that was going to be self-sufficient in terms of heating. The top of the knoll was shaved, the structure built, and soil was placed over it. The earth covering provided natural insulation, and solar collectors are expected to play a primary role in both heating and cooling. 2. Floating school in Cambodia. Our next education institution is no less exotic and is floating in water. Although a floating school is no surprise in this region, since it is common to see entire floating villages with floating houses, shops and other buildings, as sometimes even schools like this one. The Kampong Luong Floating Village is situated on Lake Tonle Sap, Cambodia. The school comprises 60 students, 40 of which are orphans whose parents died during fishing trips. The school only has a single classroom where every student studies and rests. To get to the floating school, children use special basins that would be probably called boats if they resembled them just a little bit more. 3. Kenalekan, a nomadic school, Yakutia, Russia. The kids who study at this school can and should be considered extremely lucky, not just because they have access to modern education, but because they can combine a conventional school study process with living in their families. Until recently, children from nomadic tribes of the northern regions of Russia had to either live in boarding schools without seeing their parents for months, or didn't get systematic education at all. This nomadic school can for sure be called the smallest in terms of both students and teachers. Such a school normally has between 6 and 8 students and 2 or 3 teachers. This, however, doesn't prevent the children from acquiring the same knowledge and skills as their more sedentary peers. The school is equipped with satellite internet, providing the students with the possibility to communicate with the outer world and get access to information that would be otherwise unreachable, far away from big libraries. 4. China's cave schools. The People's Republic of China keeps surprising the world with its economic miracles. One of the reasons for that, for sure, is the pursuit of knowledge as a significant trait of the national character and mentality. One example of this dedication to learning is a unique school in Guizhou province. The Miao Nation, native people of this region, lives very humble lives. The low level of life of these people prevented them from getting education for a very long time, and until 1984, there wasn't a single school here. Since financial means were quite scarce, a decision was taken to locate the school in a big cave. Classrooms, sports ground and a zone for rest were all organized under the domes of the cave. Initially, the school was intended for one class, but at the moment, it provides primary and secondary education for 186 children of different ages. The overwhelming hunger for knowledge leads them all the way to school for 6 hours by foot every day. 5. Orested Gymnasium in Copenhagen. This high school is the first school in Denmark with an architectural design that corresponds to the new visions of learning system of the future. Traditional spaces such as classrooms and lounges no longer exist. Instead, the building is divided into 4 study zones. Children may freely gather and study within a new, interdisciplinary approach to learning. The 4 floors are linked by a wide spiral staircase that winds up toward the roof terrace. There are sofas and ottomans all around the school, used by students for study and rest.